Runcation. Hey, welcome to episode 169 of the Run Eat Drink podcast. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Welcome to the show. We're so happy that you're here. Some of you listening on the podcast feed, others joining us live for this recording.
And this is, I don't know if I'd say it's historic, but it is certainly going to be I think a first for us. This is our first remote video live stream, I think, that we've done for the show where we're both not in the same room.
Right? Okay, so I have just switched over to the comments. So if you're listening back to this on the podcast feed, then you're listening to a first, like Dana said, and I'm at home running all the technology without him. And
if you're doing a darn fine job, by the way.
Oh my God. If you're joining us live and you're in the comments, I will be reading those and adding those to our live video as I can, and let us know how you're doing, what you're drinking, and more importantly, how the video and how the sound are. Really?
Yeah.
Because, I'm a one-woman show over here, so it could be we could crash and burn.
And I'm a one-woman show over here. No, kidding.
What? Sorry, I'm too loud.
No, I am coming to you guys live tonight from Daytona International Speedway. I am literally close enough to throw something at it and hit the speedway.
Yeah.
I'm staying at a hotel here in Daytona Beach for a work conference, and I'm coming to you guys live via the miracle of hotel Wi-Fi and my headphones. So let's hope this holds up. It's the technological equivalent of spit and baling wire.
Oh boy. So Josh said, let the shenanigans commence.
All right.
Katie's in the chat and says, hi, friends. Maria Miller is here. This may be one of the first times she's caught a live recording of our show.
Well, fantastic. I'm glad people are jumping in. I was just really concerned about my audio. Hopefully I sound okay, but I think that we've got that worked out.
Josh is reporting from YouTube that the audio is great. If anybody's over on Facebook, let us know. I'm making my way through the chat. It's great to see you all in the chat again, even though we don't see your faces. We're so glad to see you. Yay, Josh says good job. Dwayne Willie, love it. Love you're here. Katie says it's great to see us. Maria says the sound and video is great, and she's drinking a fat-burning tea.
A fat-burning tea. Send some my way.
Right? I need that too. Maria, we need that as part of our challenge. Josh says I had one job and I nailed it. I should open mine away from the microphone. You're showing off your water.
Well, mine's not fizzy. This is not fizzy water. This is just water from
I have a soda
the hotel here.
Soda Stream water. I said
nice.
You could take the Soda Stream with you. Just so
I appreciated that. No, I was fortunate. The hotel that they put me up in for the class actually is one of those extended stay hotels. So I have a full kitchen actually here, and I was able to go to a Publix grocery store and buy fresh food. This might be my first time in traveling for work where I actually have the opportunity to have fresh food and be able to cook myself instead of relying on restaurants, which has been pretty nice.
Yeah.
And the kitchen came appointed with dishes and pots and pans and all that.
Well, that's fabulous. So you are set up for success in travel.
So it would seem.
Yes.
So it would seem.
Like I said at the start, Dwayne says that our sound and everything on Facebook is good, and he's drinking a 0-calorie lemon soda.
Nice.
And Katie has a bottle of water.
Well, it
And
sounds like we're all being healthy tonight.
it
And that's
sounds,
probably
yes.
good given that it's the beginning of the week.
Oh yeah, it's
So,
Monday
well,
as we
I,
record this. Oh,
it is.
Fun Size Jen is here.
Hey, Jen
Yay! And Chris
and Chris.
Darling, fabulous extra mile representation. And
Love that.
Sarah, patron Sarah, is here and says hi.
Hello.
And Chris is drinking a Diet Coke. Yes, I know. I am so used to polling everybody for what they're drinking on our live. Well, I guess now we're
Our
calling them our
our
Wednesday
Wednesday water
water
chats.
chats. I guess. I don't know.
For for the time being, that will
Oh,
change.
yes.
That will change.
Yes. Yes.
But
Coffee is brewing for Josh, and Susie's here. And I really want to say hello to everybody who is taking the time to drop into the live chat with us, and everybody who's listening back to the podcast, because it's been a week since we have seen and since you have heard from us.
yeah, and what I'd like to do before we get started in
Yeah.
earnest, I wanted to take a minute and, for most of you listening, know, and I think all of our patrons are aware, um, the reason that we're delayed a week is because last Sunday I got some pretty heartbreaking news that my sister unexpectedly passed away, and we've been spending the better part of this past week getting all of her final affairs taken care of, her house, um, and everything else with family in Tampa. And it's this comes on the heels of the passing of my nephew just 2 months ago. And it has been a challenging couple of months. And I have been absolutely blown away by the love and the support of this woman right here that I'm pointing at on the camera, and by the outpouring of support that we've gotten from our listeners and members of the Runcation Nation. I can tell you that there have been many tearful nights in the last week, and many tearful drives driving to and from Tampa. And there was one in particular when Amy was reading me messages from everybody in the Runcation Nation that shot us messages, and having the opportunity to be lifted up and supported by all of you in what I can tell you is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to go through in my 46 years on this planet is pretty amazing. And I cannot thank all of you enough for the support that you've given me and Amy over the last week. And um, just from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys, and you're incredible. So thank you very much. And I don't want to bring the
No.
vibe down. I don't want to make this a somber episode in any way. I just want to express my appreciation to everybody. So thank you.
I echo that as well, 100%. I uh, I've been focusing on trying to take care of Dana and the messages that we have received from the Runcation Nation. Everybody who is here locally who says, hey, can we bring you something? Or anybody who is across the globe, you know, because we're
Yeah.
international. Thanks to Rhonda Lee. Uh, I I just my heart is full. I'm talking with my hands. my my heart is full, and I can't echo everything that you said enough. That I was so focused to be able to take care of Dana because of all the support and well wishes. That emotional support is so important when you go through something like this. So we can't thank everybody enough. Those who have been here in person, those who have been I just and two, I'm going to catch up on the comments because we're getting some messages now. I can't uh uh, you
It's hard to type and
yeah,
talk and
yes.
read at the same time, isn't it?
Yes.
Craft services.
Yes.
I
Yes.
missed a little bit.
Sorry. Let me make an adjustment because I don't know. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you better now.
Better
Or that you
now?
moved the mic. Yes,
Can
thank you.
you hear Can you hear me now? Just yeah, so I just yeah, technology without you is such a challenge. What you do every episode is just amazing. So, okay, I just don't want to let it go without putting up some of the comments. So he says, we're here if you need us. Dan Rams from the Cape Coral Running Group says, I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your sister and your nephew. We love you from Katie. Chris Darling, the running community is one of the most supportive communities out there. We love you guys. And that is so true. Some of the most supportive people are the ones we have yet to meet. And we
It's
will
very true.
meet, I think, in 2021 and 2022. So Jennifer Hall says, we're here for you both. Katie says, I have a card in the mail that I sent you all. Oh, and speaking of mail, don't let me forget to talk about that in the shout out. Mail.
Okay.
Don't let me forget in the shout out section. So Susie says, we love you. We love you too, Susie, so much. Rob Nadow's in the chat, checking in. Hope you're doing a little better. Thank you, Rob. We're hanging in there. Josh says, you two are a shining beacon of what love and support should be.
All right, you can't cry and
I can't
read
cry and operate this thing.
and operate all the technology.
No.
So, okay, let's get to shout outs.
Yeah,
Like I said,
okay.
the
And Sarah
the
says
main
agreed.
thing.
Agreed. So thank you all.
So,
thank you all.
thank you.
Welcome to episode 169 of the Run Eat Drink podcast, where we have tons of shout outs. Like you said, we were absent last week, which means we missed our 4th podcast anniversary. But you know what?
We're just delaying it.
Our patrons, one of our patrons sent us a gift. We should start the shout out with that. And I don't have it in the room. I'm a poor technological podcaster. I don't even know how to say it, but yeah. But JoJo, or Positively Polly 1, she sent us nice wooden coasters and coffee from what is it? Death Wish.
Death
Right?
Wish
Death Wish
Coffee.
Coffee.
And the coasters
she,
are laser engraved with our podcast logo.
Yes, I should get them and show them off on the chat, but maybe that's for Wednesday.
Let's do that Wednesday.
For Water Wednesday chat, for our Wednesday water chat, whatever we're calling that. We're working that, right? What do they say on the Will Run For podcast? We're workshopping that. Yes. Yeah. So yeah. So and the bib holders. She sent us bib holders that also
have our logo on it. It's very cool. I can't wait to run a real race, not to get a medal. I want to run a real race and try those bib holders out. I can't tell you how many times I have said I ought to get a pair of those, because I really hate, remembering to get some safety pins when we go do packet pickup, and
oh my god,
do I have enough in my DOP kit when we are traveling? So now we've got a permanent solution to that problem.
I am so excited. I can't tell you. So we'll show them off on the live Wednesday chat. We'll show all that off, and we still have yet to unbox the coffee that Josh left with us when he came to visit. So,
well, I believe that you've had. We've had a tasting of one of the coffees.
One of the 3.
Yes.
One of the 3. So we still have 2. And then we have all of his beer to have at the end of our 75
at
hard
the
challenge.
At the end of 75 hard.
Yes. So I am just so excited for
But, you know,
all of that.
just because we had to take the week to take care of family, the Runcation Nation was
Right.
apparently very busy without us
My
because
goodness. Yes.
I'm looking at this list of things to shout out and celebrate here. I mean, Darlene ran
Yeah.
the Yellowstone half marathon.
She ran the Yellowstone half marathon, yes. And Tom from the Will Run For podcast just jumped into the chat. I was channeling him and telling him I was talking about how we're going to workshop some titles for our live chats. But Darlene's posts about her Yellowstone half, I mean, I it was over a year, I think she said, that she since she had run a live race. Her pictures were gorgeous. Her posts were eloquent
She was
about,
channeling her inner Rob Nadow,
oh,
who is
and
our unofficial photographer of the
of the running
Runcation
trick
Nation.
of the Running Trick podcast. Yes, of the Runcation Nation. Yes. So, Darlene, your post is inspiring about the impact that crossing that finish line in a live race mean. How that impacts everybody and what that means. So, Rhonda Lee, how are you? Welcome to the chat. And Jojo, we were just bragging on for sending us some anniversary gifts. She ran, and her posts were so fun. The Hatfield and McCoy half. And she had
Yeah,
pictures at the outset with two guys there in costume. And oh,
that one looked like a lot of fun as well. I
mhm.
you know, a little bit of history there. And then Dawn did the Insta Run Club 5K.
Yeah. So, I mean, in some places in the country, you're still waiting on live races or being able to travel to live races. And the Insta Run Club community has just been amazing with that. So, and Dawn, her smile in her post about that is
Absolutely.
unmatched. If you
Absolutely.
go find her on Instagram as Dawn B Disney and you see that smile, that will make your day. That will absolutely 100% make your day. Susie says Darlene at the Yellowstone half saw a grizzly bear on the course. Oh my goodness.
You
Oh,
know, um, I'm okay with seeing them on TV.
yeah.
I
I don't
don't
really, I mean,
know that
seeing it
I
in
need to
person,
encounter one in person in the wild.
I'm not
Mm-mm.
sure about
You know,
that. Oh
although
no.
although I think people who come to Florida and do a run and then, you
Yeah.
know, run into an alligator on the course probably say the exact same thing. They don't expect to be
I
running
don't
with
think it's the,
dinosaurs.
I don't think it's the same because usually there's like some kind of fencing between you and the gator, right?
No, remember when we did
Oh, that's true.
the
Over in
races
Boca.
over in Boca? Yeah, there were like
Oh.
6 or 7 gators in that lake we were running right past,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh
a
my
couple
God.
of them were right by the shore.
Oh my God. I just nope. I'll pass. Wildlife, I have to have glamping. I can't have camping. And I think on the
Uh-huh.
race course, it's like I just need to. Well, I mean, if you're going to be with me, I guess everything will be okay, right?
Everything will be fine. And
Everything
then
will be fine. Yes. And
and
Anna,
yes, I was gonna say we have one more.
right? Famous for uh, her handle on Instagram as Anna Runs on Coffee, ran the Naperville Women's Half. And I don't know
Mhm.
if anybody is in the chat that I forgot to shout out, but let us know, shoot us a message. We can always shout that out on the Wednesday chat.
Yes.
So,
Yes, please. We're loving seeing now we're starting to see the larger events begin to come
yeah.
back, and I am so excited about that. We are a week behind with everything, like we said, so we are going to be announcing our race calendar. That has
Yes.
not changed.
Yes.
In fact, we started booking some hotels. We started getting,
Yay.
you know, actually making some preparations.
I'm
So
excited.
that's coming. I'm guessing probably next weekish, sometime maybe the week after, depending on. It'll be after I get back home. I know that.
Yes, after you get back home, our two priorities are to share our race calendar with our patrons and then on the episode proper as we celebrate our anniversary. So that is our
She's the
mission.
boss.
That is our mission for next week when you're home.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Got it.
yeah. Yeah. So, those are the shout outs that I have scoured the social media channels and the hashtag Runcation Nation and the hashtag Runny Drink Podcast for. But
That's
if
the
I
best
missed one,
information. Yeah, so it's the best information our intrepid field reporters could scour and
mhm,
get for us at the
if
time.
you want to get me 17% better, shoot me a message and we'll shout you out, you know, from the Running Drink Podcast Tower. So those are our shout outs. And now we have to talk running, eating, and drinking tonight.
We do,
We do.
because we've got updates. Believe it or not, um, in light of everything that's transpired for us on a personal level this week, I think
Hmm.
we've got updates. I mean, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
So we're going to do training updates and then we're going to highlight a local food and beverage place that helped us support our goals during the 75 hard challenge that we outlined last episode. So you go ahead and start. We'll get into the run with you.
Well, you know, as everybody knows, back on June 1st, we started the 75 Hard Challenge. And what that is 75 days straight of a pretty, I don't want to call it a super strict regimen. That's not really accurate, but it's a challenge to build mental toughness and resiliency. And it encompasses doing a series of several small things each day. It does
Mhm.
require you to do 2 workouts a day for 45 minutes each, and one of those workouts has to be outside. It requires you to take a progress photo every day. It requires you to read 10 pages of a book
Mm.
that's nonfiction, something that's going to help you develop
Yeah.
and improve as a person, whatever that might be. But just, not like a beach read novel, nothing, no fiction.
Hmm.
Uh, it also requires you that to drink a gallon of water every day, a gallon of water. Hence, sipping on the water nonstop.
Yeah.
And if you fail to do any of these things, then you have to start back at day. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one thing.
Uh-oh.
Um, no alcohol or cheat meals
Yes.
during that 75-day period. And if you fail to execute any of those things, you start back at day one.
Oh
So it's
boy.
holding yourself accountable. It's forcing you to make time for yourself. It's forcing you to focus on small things, and um, it's holding you accountable and or making you hold yourself accountable by having to start over at the beginning if you don't complete.
Oof.
So we started that on June 1st, and I was shocked actually with everything that happened in the last week that it didn't go right out the window. When you have a time of personal crisis, family crisis, whatever the case may be, it is easy for you to neglect yourself, for you to say, this is too important for me to focus on this right now,
Yep.
that I've got too much going on to worry about this right now. I'll start back on this plan or any plan when life gets easier, when this crisis passes, whatever the case may be. And the temptation for me was certainly there.
Mm.
Um,
Mm. And for
the
me too. And for me too.
Yeah, but what I ended up doing as we were dealing with everything over the course of this past week was saying to myself that this is the acute emergency is over, and now it is going to be a bit of a long haul where I'm going to need to be available for family to help with taking care of things, and I need to be in good physical and mental health during that time,
Mm.
in addition to giving myself the time and the space to grieve and do what I need to do as far as that process goes.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, I'm not going to neglect myself during this time, and part of that is I'm not going to neglect what I have already set out to do. So during all of this, Amy and I have been adhering to the 75 hard challenge. So in spite of having to drive to Tampa, every day this past week, we ended up getting up at 4 in the morning and knocking out our workout and doing our 10 pages of reading and starting on the water for the day and taking our selfies and making sure that we were setting ourselves up for success. Then going to Tampa, taking care of family, taking care of matters there, and then coming home and finishing. And we've had to train around the weather, and we've had to train around all of that, the stress and the urge to comfort eat, the urge to do things that wouldn't be in line with what we set out to do, was absolutely there and so powerful. And I I
I'm telling you.
have
Yes.
I have been really really surprised at how I could use, and for me it's been running, because that's what I've been electing to do with my workouts, is I'm doing two a day
Yeah.
runs, and using that as a stress reliever and as a means to clear my head and as a
Mm.
means to, in
Yeah.
some ways, work through some of this.
Yeah.
And that's been a bit of meditative time. So it's actually helped in dealing with some of the intense emotional load of the past week
I think it gave
for me.
us, yes, I would agree with you. I think that it has given me something to focus on in that grief. And I just remember I the first night just saying to you, what do you want to do with this? The challenge and a- the running and all of that. And you you were like, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna keep going. And I think that that was the smartest decision that we could make. I really do. And Rob Nato, I think I mean, did you see him? He says, you're
The
on track with
goat,
that. That's
yeah.
more impressive than Brady and all the Super Bowl wins. Uh, GOAT, greatest of all time. I'm not quite sure I'm up to that level, and I
I'll
know
take it.
we're working out. Uh, and I know that we'll resume our couch to 5K runs this week
As a matter of
too.
fact, yeah, tomorrow I'll be starting, or resuming week 7, day 1 tomorrow, and I'll be
Yeah.
broadcasting live from right in front of the Daytona International Speedway. It'll be
I'm so
worth
looking
tuning.
forward to that.
It'll be worth tuning into that just to see the backdrop. It's going to be pretty cool.
You better find us some good vegan eats up there. And I'm just
Uh,
telling you that is the challenge,
I will look.
but you're going to give us amazing vistas also this week as a
I'm going to
part of
give
your
you
runs.
one amazing vista, because it's the International Speedway, this
Well, what
big
about
monstrous thing.
from several angles or
Well,
something? I
yeah,
don't know.
but I
I
mean,
don't
but
know.
it's
I
but
don't
it's
know.
still like the facade of this thing, and then basically it's malls and restaurants on the other side of the street. So I'll be a
Okay.
little limited as far as that goes, but it'll look good, and it's a beautiful, beautiful structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to see if maybe they'll let me run on the track. I don't know. They might.
Are you really going to ask?
I'll ask. What's the worst they can say? No.
Yeah, you're going to try and be you're going to use your skills from your speech and debate years,
I'm just going to
right?
ask nicely and see what they say.
See what they say. See what they say. And
Yeah.
Josh is right when he says an important thing to keep in mind and that we have both highlighted is that losing self-focus is a slippery slope and that we've overcome a huge hurdle. Very proud. I just it gives us kind of a touchstone, and I hope that it will continue to be the case. You know,
Well,
and
and I think that when you are dealing with an acute trauma, like losing a loved one unexpectedly, it is so easy to go down a into a dark place and
yeah,
just kind of discard everything else. And for some people, they might think that taking care of yourself is the same thing as being selfish. And That's really not the case. It is about being able to weather the stress over a
Right.
long period of time. Human beings are really good at handling stress acutely, and what ends up happening is over time they don't, because the body reacts the way that it does.
Mm-hmm.
It, dumps hormones into your system. It causes, that persistent fight or flight response,
Right.
and that creates issues with your immune system. That creates issues where you can see yourself, and I have an experience with this in my family. A similar situation happened with my father when I was a kid, and dealing with the stress of the death of his mother led him to get a bleeding ulcer.
Oh.
So, you can absolutely neglect yourself and then make yourself no good to anybody. So, we've made a conscious choice to not allow that to happen here. So, and
Yeah.
and hopefully this will continue to help with coping with everything, and with healing, and then in addition making us a little bit better, stronger, faster in the process.
I hope so. And that exact point is the one of the first books that one of the first book that I chose for our challenge is called You're a Badass. Can I say that? Are we still a
Yes,
family show?
we're still a family show.
Okay. You're a Badass. How to stop doubting your greatness and start living an awesome life by Jen Sincero. And
Mhm.
she makes that exact point. You have to get away from feeling selfish that you're taking care of yourself. And Josh is coming in for the win when he says love thyself before you can love others. So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, I think this having it to focus on and then resuming the 5K challenge. And, we have to talk about with our Runcation Nation, we have to talk about whether we're going to go to the 5K, the faster 5K, or the 10K program, because this week 7 in Jeff Galloway's Couch to 5K, easy 5K, is week 7 is race day.
It's
It's
race
race day.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he always tacks on week 8 as kind of like, here's conditioning coming off of your race, no matter what distance it is. And so we have to talk about it with our Runcation Nation and see, do they want us to continue doing those live runs? If so, what distance is next? Do we want to focus on improving the 5K time and those kinds of questions? And I'm kind of excited to explore that in upcoming episodes.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if people are more interested in how does the program change when you're working towards improving your time,
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
are people more interested in seeing how the training program adapts to a longer distance? So,
Mm-hmm.
I smell a poll coming on,
Yeah.
uh, in social media over the next couple of weeks, and we'll figure it
Yes.
out from there. I know that the responses I got on the run week before last were um, a little bit divided, I think.
Hmm.
So I'd like to get a feel.
Well, so we'll see where everybody falls, and then ultimately we'll decide what to do. And I will tell you, as far as just rounding out the updates and what I have done, I've been walking because I've been experiencing a challenge where I need to work on strengthening in those workouts, those two workouts that we're doing as part of the challenge. And I need to focus on strengthening, and also to get back into running. I need the expert. Yes, the app has his voice and I love it, right? And I think Rhonda Lee has actually talked about that in the past. I know I need to work on strengthening, and I think Susie shot me a link to some of the strengthening she's been doing and having real great success with. So shout out to Susie.
And I know
And
that you unboxed your Bosu ball and have
yeah, I
started
gotta show
playing with
people.
that.
Yes, I have to show people the Bosu ball. Thank you, Therabeast, for influencing Dana to just order that without even telling me. And
We were
um,
literally sitting right there recording an episode or doing a live
and
chat,
you
and
ordered
I
it. I
ordered
didn't
it right
think you were
there.
gonna do it, but also I need the expert, and I need real time Jeff time. So I signed up for a round of e-coaching with Jeff.
Very nice.
Yeah, I did that this past like 2 or 3 days ago. I signed up for that and filled out the questionnaire about where I want to go and what my goals are, and we can get into more of that on upcoming episodes as I talk about what happens in e-coaching and what and kind of where he's steering me. But I uh, I just feel like I need that real-time support, and I'm so excited that I get to have it. And we had Jeff introduce us at the top of the episode because he did a live chat with his daughter-in-law Carissa
Yep.
Galloway about his progress and how he's making it back slowly and steadily, and kind of where he was at the beginning of his situation and his health related event, his heart attack, and up to now, and how he's slowly and steadily doing the right thing with medical advice. I need the expert advice. So I'm going to Jeff, and I am so lucky that I get the opportunity to do that again.
Yeah,
So,
I'm glad that he's recovered to the point where he's able to get back to doing the e-coaching. And I know that he's still on the mend a little bit, but
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. It's not going to slow him down from working the keyboard. So he's always been amazingly responsive, and I mean, he knows your journey from the beginning of our running experience. So he is going to be an amazing resource, and maybe when he's feeling up to it, we can try to get him back on the show.
Oh, I hope so. I really, really hope so. And Susie says she looks forward to hearing about my e-coaching experience. I'll talk about that a little bit on the show. Maybe I'll do something for our patrons about it. Or, I've been kicking around some ideas, and I'm not where really sure where I'm going to land. You're doing the weekly runs, and I want to do something above and beyond for all of these people that have helped and supported us. I uh, I was also thinking about like a weekly exclusive podcast for the patrons where I talk about
Ooh,
some of the inspiration that I'm drawing from these nonfiction books, like Amby Burfoot's book, like this book that I'm reading now, like Meb's book, like Jeff's books. So I'm kicking around some ideas, and I may talk to our people and see what they want.
very
You know,
nice.
so
I
Rhonda
like
Lee
it.
says, "Yay for each e-coaching with Jeff." Sounds like some firsthand experience for a thumbs up, and and that should benefit me. Yes, Rob. I know it has in the past, and I can remember very distinctly that e-coaching carrying me through to a PR at his race. So I I know I need it, and I know that last week taught me, let's just go after what we need when we need it, so that then we can be there for everybody else and we can achieve our goals that are important to us, because you only got one life. So
Absolutely.
I'm doing some e-coaching with my coach, America's coach. And that is all I have to say about that. And now I'm off the soapbox, and here I am with that. Those are my training updates.
Okay, well, I mean, and it's a great training update because you've been killing it. We've been sacrificing, blisters and sleep and all that,
You
but
have gotten some wow blisters.
it's
Okay.
time for some new shoes.
Yeah, for
These
you.
shoes are going to last me this week, and I'm going to the run shop to buy new ones. Just saying,
I just bought
that's
some.
happening.
I just bought
Well,
some. You need the right equipment.
when I do my evening workout tonight, there's a running shop here locally. If the depending on what they have, that actually may happen sooner rather than later. I may end up picking them up if I have to while I'm here. But
I
um,
got mine early. I got mine early so that I would have a spare as these start to decline. So
yeah, I'm not that fancy of a runner. I just run, and
that's my
the way I
mission.
can tell I need new shoes is my feet start hurting.
Yeah.
So that's how I know.
Yeah. Hey,
But
all of this talk of running has made me hungry.
feeling a little peckish, are we?
Yes. So I feel
Well,
like we should talk about what we've been eating.
yeah, and we're really lucky. We've been trying to find some options, especially in the last week, where if we didn't have time to cook necessarily at home, where could we go for some options that were going to give us vegan food that was tasty, that was healthful, and that was just something that you would want to eat as opposed to something we're going to endure, because nobody wants to endure a meal. You want to enjoy a meal. I think that's pretty safe to say.
I think a lot of people, uh, maybe not a lot of people, but oftentimes healthy is equated with maybe not as flavorful or
Yes, I would say,
enjoyable.
and certainly vegan. I know that for
Yeah,
people who aren't used to eating vegan, they will say, "Oh, I don't want to eat my front yard." I'm guilty of making that exact joke.
of course.
Um,
I'm
you know,
right there with you.
And again, we're in no way trying to convert anybody at all, because normally we have a day 7 where we have our day for eating for the show, and that ends up being usually a animal protein of some kind. We're big fans of chicken, steak, fish, so
Oh,
we're
love it.
not we're
Yes.
we're, we're not trying to convert anybody, but we are adhering to a diet as part of that 75 hard challenge, and that for us is strict vegan eating over the course of the 75 days with
Hmm.
no cheat days. So um, we found a local chain, and I don't know that they're out of the area, but I know that they have
No.
2 locations here in Lee County, and
And
this
I
is a
think that
place.
they list Naples on their
Okay,
website.
so
So I don't know if they have a location in Naples or they're working toward that, but yeah.
but this is a restaurant called Amaze Bowls.
Oh,
UH
oh.
Maze Bowls.
Yeah.
And this type of restaurant is starting to catch on in places really across the country. And what they are healthful, fresh, oftentimes um, organic bowls of, in some cases it's vegetables, in some cases it's fruit, in some cases it's lean proteins,
Mhm.
usually with a mixture of legumes or rice, and then seasonings and toppings that give you basically a complete meal in a bowl, basically. And yes, it's a very catchy
Catchy
name,
name.
Susie. I see.
Yes.
She said, yeah, it gets your attention.
Yeah.
But the restaurant here, the one that we went to, is a location that's in Cape Coral. It's really kind of a fast, fresh concept. So it's a counter service where you go up and order, and then when they call your name, you can get your dish and go eat at the indoor or outdoor seating. It's actually
It's
a
pretty
nice,
inside.
open, airy concept. I mean, they do a great job with how it looks.
Hmm. Yeah, and over the week I'll throw up some pictures of what it looks like inside, and I bet that we have some people in the Runcation Nation that might have a similar type of restaurant in their area, because I feel like it is a type of place that has caught on throughout the country.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think that a lot of people are looking for these easily transportable, healthy options that they can do, and they do things like they do a bowl with a puree of fruit that's
Hmm.
frozen at the bottom, and then it's topped with fresh fruit. They do some stuff with like tuna poke bowls,
Oh, it
and
looks
then
good.
they have a series of toasts. I
Hmm.
know that the joke is, hipsters and their avocado toast, but they do a series of toasts, and then they do smoothies. And these are all fresh ingredients, and you can kind of customize them how you want. But they have some core recipes that they offer, and we tried some,
We
and
did.
we liked it. I mean,
Yes.
we liked it enough. We liked it enough to feature it on the show, and that
Oh
says
yeah.
something because we've talked about it. We are pretty hardcore.
All right. Has anybody had avocado toast? Anybody that is in the live chat, let us know if you've had it, if you've made it, if you like it, because what the first thing we had there was each one of us got an order of this avocado toast.
Yeah, they offer this avocado toast, and this is something that I've actually replicated at home. In fact, I think I've even talked about it on some lives before. But
Hmm.
this is they do a gluten-free toast topped with avocado, alfalfa sprouts, hemp seeds, extra virgin olive oil, and pepper or cracked pepper, and they do pink Himalayan salt
Yeah.
on top of it if you want. You can always tell them to hold it if you
I
want to.
like how they're willing to customize everything.
And you can just tell them make it vegan, and
Hmm.
they will substitute out whatever they need to make something vegan,
Yes. So they
which
know
I
their
really appreciate.
menu. Everybody there that works there knows the menu so well. And the avocado alfalfa toast. I mean, it's $6.50. And the avocado toast was huge. It
Yeah,
was very
you
filling.
you basically get an entire avocado worth of the avocado flesh on two slices of this toast. It's piled high. They do the alfalfa sprouts and then the hemp seeds, which hemp seeds give this really subtle nuttiness in terms of the flavor
Yeah. Yeah.
that you don't expect, and they have a really pleasant texture. They're a little bit um, they're about the same, maybe a little softer firmness than say a pine nut. Is
Mm.
best basically the best way I could describe it.
And
And
like,
Susie's
yeah,
suggesting sometimes an egg. I love avocado toast like this with a poached egg on top. That is
it's
one of my absolute favorites.
delish. And when we were in Jacksonville the last time for the Donna, we went to Southern Grounds and we talked about their food, and they have normally an avocado toast, but they had a special at the time that was guacamole on the
Hmm.
toast, which was delightful. So Susie,
Yes.
you're making me think of Jacksonville and the Donna weekend, and because that is amazing. And um Sarah says, "Oh, look at
Everything
this."
everything bagel seasoning on avocado toast would be amazing.
Mm.
That would winner avocado toast dinner.
Oh my gosh. And yeah, and Rhonda Lee was just gonna great minds think alike, because Susie and Rhonda Lee were both saying yes, an egg. But you would do a poached egg,
I
not a
yeah,
scrambled egg.
I would prefer poached eggs for that.
Yeah.
I just think there's another local restaurant that I like that does a similar thing where they do their own fresh made house made sourdough, and they do a poached egg, and they do red chili flake on top, and it's just
Yeah.
fantastic. And
Oh.
then they'll do that with either a little sprinkling of goat cheese or vegan feta cheese on top to give you a
Mm.
little bit of an acidic tart punch.
Oh.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
good.
And what I also like about the avocado alfalfa dish is that unexpectedly, guacamole doesn't really taste like a raw vegetable. It doesn't have that deep green flavor that you get
Yeah.
from, say, sprouts. and
Yeah.
the little addition of the alfalfa sprout giving you that, and they're
Hmm.
so delicate in terms of their texture. I think that it's just a really nice component that makes this, it just makes it really, really work.
And the avocados were ripe at the perfect ripeness here at Amaze Bowls.
Hmm.
Just oh, it was so good. So
Yeah,
good. Yes.
yeah, that's a
Now,
favorite.
yeah. We also split something called the Garden of Eden. And that is tofu on a bed of warm rice topped with sesame seeds, alfalfa sprouts, edamame, avocado, carrot, purple cabbage, cucumber, sunflower seeds, and tamari.
And this thing is gorgeous, by the way.
It's
This
so
is like an
colorful,
edible work of art.
rainbow of colors.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of
I,
people, tofu is one of those things that you either love it or you hate it. And
yeah.
tofu is, I think it's a great vehicle for the flavors it's prepared with.
Mm,
Texturally, it kind of reminds me of depending on which type of tofu, it can range anywhere from custard all the way
yeah.
um, to really hard scrambled eggs.
Yeah, that is so true. That's the perfect way to describe that extra firm tofu.
Hmm.
And you have roasted it in the past at home and cubed
And
it to
added it
kind
to
of,
soups.
yes.
Yeah.
And but I think it would be equally good that way in stir fry. I think this was the firm tofu that we had because it wasn't that creamy kind of custard consistency in
Yes.
this, and the warm rice and then the edamame, they just, and the crunchiness of the cabbage and then the cucumber, it's just different textures. And then the sunflower seeds for crunch, and the the tamari is like just
The
that,
salty component.
the salt and pepper kind of seasoning that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that the hidden gem in this is the combination of the crunch from the purple cabbage, which by the way is also just a beautiful visual component
Oh yeah.
because it pops against the green. Um, I love the flavor of, or the creaminess of the avocado and the nuttiness of the sunflower seeds in there. And again, this is all on top of a bed of warm rice that they prepare fresh. They have a rice cooker going, and
Mhm.
they're spooning this into the bowl, and they're making these all day long.
You
And
could
it's
just
just,
watch them do it. It's
oh,
great.
absolutely,
It's like, and it comes out like a work of art.
it
So
does.
yeah.
So yeah, so
And
this
Katie said
is
she's made tofu stir fry. Yeah.
yeah, so this is the savory side of Amaze
Hmm.
Bowls. But like
Yeah.
we mentioned, kind of introducing them, they have a sweet side to them as well.
Yeah. So I mean, the dishes that we're describing, we went and we had them prior to starting the challenge.
Yes,
And
these are going back, but we actually have these. We kind of had these on reserve
yeah.
um, because we were gonna do Amaze Bowls as a location anyway,
Yeah.
and then we started the challenge, and we went back and we found even more to talk to you about. So I mean, we
Yeah.
actually we're full on with Amaze Bowls.
And I really like that when we walked in this past week and we started to explore the sweet side of their menu, that they were very open to and very knowledgeable about, okay, so you would have to swap this out or that out to make it vegan.
Yes. Yeah, that was
So,
very helpful. I mean,
yeah.
disappointing because one of my favorite things that they do, one of the things that they like to flavor some of the sweet stuff with is a little drizzle of hazelnut chocolate spread. But
Yes.
the one that they use in particular is not vegan because
Hmm.
of probably because of the milk chocolate
I imagine so.
in there.
Yeah.
So instead, you sub out peanut butter instead.
Yes. So when we went back
So it's a
and
pretty good compromise.
yeah, when we had the Amaze Bowl or the acai, the Amaze
Yes,
acai bowl. How did I do? How did I do?
acai, which this is one of those fruits that I think honestly is I don't know how legitimate any of the whole superfood hype is when it comes to really anything. Whether it's eat a pound of blueberries a week and you'll never get old, or drink acai juice and you'll earn all
I
kinds
don't
of
know.
extra money, and
You've
you'll
seen
get
those
you'll get wealthy
infomercials
and
right
good
now.
look. Oh my gosh. But the fact of the matter is the acai uh, fruit is actually very tasty. It kind of reminds me of kind of a cross between a blueberry and a
Blueberry.
raspberry, or maybe like a pomegranate.
Yeah. Yeah. Without that kind of seed like component a little bit,
Right.
that flavor, not that consistency. Oh, Mark, hello. Mark Valentine from the
Hey,
Steve's Life
Mark.
podcast. How are you? Welcome. We're talking about our healthy foods that we're having. And Amaze Bowls, yeah. I think whether it's sweet or whether it's savory in terms of the meals that we've had there, they are I'm lucky. We're lucky that we have them, and I hope that everybody has something similar near
Yeah,
them.
so this bowl, what's interesting about this is kind of a weird, and I
A
don't mean that
weird
in a
bowl,
bad way. It's kind of weird because what they do is that you have the acai blend at the bottom. That is the base layer of this bowl, and it's basically frozen fruit that's pureed. So it ends up being very similar to a fruit smoothie, but a thicker consistency to where you'd have to eat it with a spoon. So it's kind of like a fresh fruit sorbet or sherbet would be, I guess, a better way to describe it.
when it's fresh. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, when it's fresh, and the way that they do it, I just think um the second day like if you save it for the second day,
you got to
I
put
would
it in
put
the
it in
freezer.
the freezer
Yeah,
so
because it's
that you can
basically
maintain that
yeah, it's
consistency.
basically fruit or pureed fruit soft serve at the bottom,
Yeah. So looking around Elite
and
trying a new recipe.
then
Bruschetta,
it's
goat cheese. Mm,
oh, goat
honey
cheese and
drizzle.
honey. That
Yeah.
actually sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But so this has that acai blend at the bottom, and then it's and it's also got a combination of the blend in the bottom is acai berries, strawberries,
Mm,
bananas, blueberries, peanut butter, and coconut milk. That is what they are making
yeah.
the puree with.
Yeah.
And then, so you got that as the base,
Yeah.
and then it's topped with granola, sliced fresh strawberries, sliced fresh banana, shredded fresh coconut, and you can get it with the hazelnut spread. We subbed out the hazelnut spread for a little more peanut butter.
Which worked out very well
And
as far
this
as
is,
flavors.
yeah, I mean, it's basically a fresh fruit sundae, is the best way I could
Yeah.
describe it.
I mean, yeah, it was delicious. Yeah.
And I don't know, would you call that a dessert,
I don't know because we
or
had
like
it
a,
as a meal.
yeah, we had it
I
as
don't.
like a light late lunch, early
Yeah.
dinner type thing. So,
So
but I mean,
I
and but
don't
oh,
know.
by the way, too, it's enormous. It's big enough that you can
Yes.
eat half of it, and then you're like, I got to save the rest. And that's how we know if you're
Goes
going
in
to
the
save it for
freezer.
the next day, freeze
Live and
it.
learn.
Yeah,
Live and learn. People. Well, we're living and learning. So yeah. This is
we are
not all
indeed.
that we got from Amaze Bowls.
No, we're going to talk about the drink section here, and I think
Yes.
that this is going to be a drink served with a side of controversy.
Yes.
And
We need
we're
to
going
know how you
to
feel about this.
we're gonna need help from the audience here
Yes.
because what we decided to do was also try a beverage from there. Now, AmazeBowls actually has nitro cold brew coffee on tap as well as
Oh,
oat milk lattes on
yum.
tap. So
Yum.
if you go there and you want to get your coffee fix, it's a great option to be able to do that.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, they also have a wide selection of smoothies. And for
Oh,
this week's drink portion, we're going to be talking about a couple of smoothies that they have to offer.
well, do you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first? Because
Well,
yours was really interesting.
or okay. So I had the basic B, and this was before we started the challenge.
That's BEE. By the
Yeah.
way, I mean I know
Yeah.
the basic B makes it sound like something else, but no, basic B.
No. BEE like the animal.
Right.
Uh-huh. That makes honey. Just you're clear. Okay. So I had the basic BEE. The blend was banana, and they're called superfood smoothies.
Superfood.
Superfood. Yes. Uh, the blend is banana, pineapple, spinach, honey, coconut milk, and then it's topped with bee pollen, chia seeds, and drizzled with honey.
Yeah, and Amy wanted to point this out. This is one that she selected in our trip before we started the challenge because
Yeah.
there are
There's
different schools of
controversy.
there's
Yes.
schools of thought amongst vegans about is anything that a bee produces technically vegan. I say if you're not eating the bees, you're good to go, and that's we created the rules we're adhering to. So, you know, you'd have been fine to get this one, but there are more hardcore vegans that say no animal byproduct, and that would include honey, because it's basically bee vomit. So yeah, well,
I don't know. Well, I mean, so yeah, Mark is
Mark, that's
saying
the goal.
we make him hungry all the time.
That's the goal. But at
That's the
least this
goal, right?
week,
Yeah.
if we make you hungry and you go get this, you're
Yeah.
doing your body a favor.
Yeah. And so no, yeah, no
No, that's
sadness milk, Josh.
that's no.
It's
They
okay.
miraculously places that sell, that their stock and trade is in making tasty beverages and products with even using nut milk. They're not using walnut milk. Amazingly,
Oh yeah. No. I remember our taste test. Some things from the taste test I remember not so
no
fondly.
bueno, no bueno.
Oh, okay. How about I totally loved this. And it has spinach in the blend, but it did not was not savory. It was not savory. I
But it was
think
bright green.
it was bright green, and you can tell that when I post the pictures later on this week in social media or in the
Mhm.
episode artwork. What um I just it was sweet. I liked the toppings because they added a layer of texture. You know how you get smoothies and they're just like ice and the blend, and there are no layers of I think they're excellent in creating layers of texture to accompany the sweeter flavor but not too sweet. There's the sweetness from the fruit, that's natural sugars, but then there's also the bee pollen, the honey, those are different kinds of layers of sweetness
Yeah, and the
and
bee pollen
freshness.
gives it almost a little hint of almost graham cracker. I mean, it has a slight. It doesn't
Yeah,
taste exactly like honey.
nutty a little
No
bit.
nuttiness. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool, and I like the fact that on the smoothies, when they do the toppings, they give you these big straws, kind of like a boba tea straw.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so you drink it down to the bottom, and then your toppings become the thing you get to enjoy at the end.
You
Unless
know,
you unless you're one of those people that mixes everything in.
but let me just, for Lisa from Custom Boutique by Lisa, who is one of
Mhm.
our patrons, I just want to say it's not boba. There's no boba. So have faith, and it's okay. But the I like the big straw.
Well, we could do
to
boba tea if as long
well
as it's
yeah,
not
but
a milk tea.
right. But it's not. There's no boba in the making of this beverage.
There's not.
So
No.
you're safe. You're safe. If you've had an overload of boba, feel free to order this basic bee. What did you have, Dana?
They make one that I really like that's called the PB Crunch. Hey, James J. Williams just jumped in. Hey,
Yeah,
we're going a little bit long this week, James,
we are.
because we're testing the limits of my hotel Wi-Fi. So
And we're making up
uh,
for lost time with our people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, but the folks at Amaze Bowls make this incredible superfood smoothie called the PB Crunch,
Oh my lord.
and
Yes.
this one is very simple. But I like it so much that I've actually started stocking one of the ingredient, or well, actually most of the ingredients at home all the time. Um, this is a blend of banana, cacao nibs, peanut butter, almond milk. That's it. Really, really simple. So you get this wonderful, thick smoothie shake that gives you, a banana and peanut flavor with little crunches throughout as you're drinking. And that's from the raw cacao nibs. And the topping is more cacao nibs. So a cacao nib is basically the pod or the bean that they make chocolate out of. That it's chocolate in its natural form. It's dried, fermented, and then cracked, and then they basically will sell you bags of cacao nibs. And I
And
use
we
it
have
now
them
as a topping for
for your
cold soaked
oats.
oats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is, I think it's such a simple one, but it's so tasty and satisfying. Like you said, the textural component, you get the little crunch throughout as you're drinking,
Yeah.
and then at the end you get the little pile of cacao nibs, and if you want to stir them in you can, but it's just so
Yeah.
delicious. And raw cacao nibs are basically like unsweetened dark chocolate, which is one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite things.
Mm.
um, so
Mm.
I'm a huge fan of this one.
Yeah. I am too. It's like when I was a kid, I loved a chocolate covered banana, like one of those frozen chocolate covered bananas.
We used to make them at home when I was a kid.
Yeah. So I just that's what it reminded me of. So, but we have a bonus one. So
We do have
those
one
two
bonus one.
we do because we had those prior to starting the challenge when we were together, and then when we returned, we had something called the PB and Yay.
Yeah, this is a smoothie that's basically their riff on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It's so good. I just want to tell you. The blend is strawberry, banana, peanut butter, honey, and almond milk. And it's topped with goji berries and drizzled with peanut butter. And goji berries at on the top. I mean, like and then inside the cup before they put the smoothie in there after they blend everything, they have kind of artfully decorated the sides of your glass with the peanut butter.
And I've seen bartenders do that with like
Drinks, cocktails.
chocolate martinis, that
Sure.
type of thing. Well, they
So
did this
pretty.
with our plastic smoothie cup.
It was so pretty. And then on the top are those dark, almost pomegranate color, like you mentioned before, like those pomegranate color goji berries, but they're not, you know how pomegranate seeds you crunch and they have the hard middle and then they have the burst of the fruit and the juice of the pomegranate and the tartness.
Hmm.
This was different. This was a goji berry. It was crunchy at first, but then almost chewy like a candy.
Yeah, these are dried, so
Yeah.
that's why. And I've only really ever had goji berries before at a actually at the Hilton Bonnet Creek. There's a salad that they serve at the poolside bar there that has goji berries on top
Oh yeah.
as a
Yeah.
garnish.
Yum.
And
Yum.
it's a neat component because it's like you said, it's got this crunch, and then a chew, and then that tartness and sweetness. It's a neat component.
So again, I think they're really smart with the textural components in their smoothies. So,
Yeah, they are.
and it felt like a dessert to me, a
Yeah,
dessert beverage.
and what I like is if people are looking at coming to Southwest Florida and they're looking at maybe spending a day out on Sanibel at the beach, this is the type of thing that you could, grab the cooler, swing by, grab a couple of smoothies for the ride out, grab a couple of bowls to eat while you're out there on the beach, and
Oh
you'd be
yeah.
able to have a nice, light, healthful lunch right
Mm-hmm.
there with your toes in the sand, looking at the Sanibel Lighthouse as the water's coming up, washing up on
Oh,
shore.
so
I
gorgeous.
mean, it would be a phenomenal way to enjoy some tropical flavors and getting your fix of the beach life down here in Southwest Florida. I think it would be a great accompaniment to heading out there.
A great, great summer
Hmm.
experience. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe some people will come and visit us. And Sarah says, and partake in that because the image you paint is perfect. I would love that, Ed. After the sun is high in the sky and after the thunderstorms of summer have passed, that would be just perfect to watch the sunset on the beach and enjoy that. Sarah says she loves goji berries on their own. So I don't know if I could recreate anything that they have done and with their their skill. They're great. I would try, you
I
know.
think we could. I think we could get close.
We could try. Josh says he's got to run. Oh, oh no, he doesn't have to leave. I misread the
No,
comment.
he's saying it's beautiful,
It's
meaning down here in
beautiful.
Southwest Florida.
Yes, it is beautiful and everybody should vacation here. Yes. It's
Yeah.
beautiful the beaches. Yes.
So
Yeah.
anyway, guys, that is
Amaze bowls.
the update on our training, the running portion, the food and drink from Amaze Bowls,
Yay.
a wonderful Southwest Florida local chain. Please check them out. We'll have a link to them in the show notes. And
Mhm.
when
Yeah.
you're planning on coming down here, and if it's not Amaze Bowls, I will bet you whatever town you're headed to, if they've got new
They have
restaurants that have
one.
opened, new places, they probably have a concept at least similar. So if you can't come here, check out some of the places maybe nearby you if you're looking for healthful bowls of
It's a thing.
goodness.
I just think it's a
It's
thing.
becoming a thing. It's
Yeah.
rapidly becoming a thing.
Yeah.
So
So,
anyway, next week
woo.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a celebration next week.
Yay. I'm so excited to be able to celebrate with everybody 4 fantastic years of our show. We will look back at some great moments and we will share with you finally, at last, what we have planned for 2021 and our race calendar.
We've been
So,
hinting at it for so long. We better knock it out of the park with this one. That's all I can
I
say. No
hope we
pressure.
do. I really
No
hope we
pressure.
do. Yeah, no pressure. So, um, if you have time, you should really check out purecreativeapparel.com. Our friends Pam and Ariel have posted some new great Run Eat Drink podcast swag. And that includes, speaking of our anniversary, a limited edition Coffee Crew shirt. I am
Yeah.
so excited about it.
You guys got to go check this out. We'd love for you to grab them while you can. Pam and Ariel have been hard at work. Amy
Mm.
does so much work behind the scenes. You guys have no idea. I'll see a flurry of text messages going, and it's Amy and Pam and Ariel, and they've got pictures going back and forth, and they're
Oh, yeah.
doing all this stuff. And a lot of times it happens when I'm at work, so I can't really give it any. I can't really look at it, so I don't catch up on it oftentimes, and then all of a sudden, boom, something new is up. And oh, Susie, see you later. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for
Um,
jumping in.
so she'll make plans, she'll make decisions on products, and boom, it's up there. And I think I got informed of the final design about the same time all of you did. So. check them out. It's really cool. And I know that some of you have already put your orders in. I am so excited. And Josh, that extra 17%, boom,
Oh, that is
it's coming
research
your way.
based. That is
It is.
research based statistics, my friend.
It's
Yes.
science.
Yeah, it's science, research, it's solid. So we really had, so that's purecreativeapparel.com, and we link to it in our show notes.
And by the way, thank you to them for kind of featuring us front and center. So we're not having to send people through our website. They could just go right there.
You can go to runeatdrink.net and you can click on support the show, and you'll see a link to Pure Creative Apparel that way and a link to our Patreon. But you can go to purecreativeapparel.com to see that new swag, some of the new colors, the tank tops. Just, yeah, they're great. And we can't thank Pure Creative Apparel and Pam and Ariel enough. Check it out. Thank you so much for listening or jumping in live. However, this week you have.
And for everything that you guys have done this week. Thank you so much. Your continued support and love and caring for us as people as well as hosts of the show.
Yeah,
absolutely is something that we cannot thank you enough for. So we are very appreciative of you.
Yes, he has said it well, and I will not go on because then I'll get choked up because it means so very much to me. So just thank you so much for all of your support and love, for joining us on your long run, your commute to work, around the house, or wherever you are. I'm your host, Amy.
And I'm your co-host, Dana.
Stay safe, stay well, and we will accomplish, explore, and indulge with you really soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having another great year thanks to your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We're at Run, Eat, Drink podcast. And on Twitter, we're Run, Eat, Drink pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or send us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Find out how you can support the show at patreon.com/runeatdrinkpodcast.